Hello, traders. FS Collector here. What is today? Today is Wednesday and it is December 3rd. So how is everybody doing? So anyways, yeah, so sorry about the last couple of weeks. Last week was a big holiday for me, being Thanksgiving. And we got Christmas right around the corner too. So anyways, yeah, we're here today. First thing first is that we should be checking out. Hold on just a second. I'm getting an error message. Okay, should be all set. Let me know if you guys can hear me all set. Everything's good to go. You got a little bit of a warning, but it seems like my internet is perfect. So, anyways, yeah, we had a little bit of news come out today. We got Trump talking again this evening, so I'm not really sure exactly what he's talking about, but we got Trump talking again, so we'll see what he has to say. I think at some point he's going to be talking about the potential stimulus checks that are going to be potentially going out, so I'm not sure if that's what he's going to be talking about or not. But yeah, anyways, let's get started. And as always, I like to start off on the US dollar index. To me, the US dollar index is kind of the roadmap to tell me what to do on all the US dollar pairs. So I'm a big fan of the US dollar index. I use this analysis to basically trade all the dollar pairs except for gold, which I personally don't trade gold anyways, just because I am from the United States and you can't trade gold in the United States from a US broker. So today we ended up getting a nice solid break of structure on a time frame that I think is very well tuned. We got high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. This is the first break of structure we've had since this low right here. So in my eyes, that tells me that the wave from here to here is complete. If the wave from here to here is complete, then there is definitely a chance that this is back into a downtrend. Now, the market has been very, very overlapping, or at least the dollar has been very, very overlapping for quite a while now. I have a couple different possibilities. This is like a WXYXZ pattern, or potentially it's like a wave A wave B, and a wave C in like a flat pattern. Either way, it's pretty much the same exact outcome, so it really doesn't matter. I don't think that much whether you call it an A, B, C, D, E, or a WXYXZ, or whatever you want to label it. It doesn't really matter. What really matters is that today we got the first break of structure we've had since this move started down here. Now, this definitely could potentially be the end of a pullback right here. This could be the end of that ABC or WXYXZ or whatever you want to call it. But we need to be a little bit on the careful side because it doesn't have to be a trend reversal. When you see the end of a trend on a perfectly tuned time frame, oftentimes it does turn into a trend reversal. It starts making lower lows, lower highs on roughly the same time frame that you see the trend break on. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It definitely still could possibly be a pullback within like a move to the upside on the higher time frames. So let's put the daily time frame fibs on here. Definitely bearish the dollar now for sure. So we are definitely looking for shorts on the dollar. So because we have this nice solid break of structure today, so let's move this over here. Let's kind of swing this out a little bit and add a little BOS on here for the break of structure. Break of structure. So yeah, looking pretty good right there. Like I said, we do have to be a little bit cautious because this is either going to do one of two things. It's either now going to start a brand new series of lower lows, lower highs on this time frame, meaning that the daily time frame is going to make lower lows, lower highs and go down and take out these previous lows. Or the other possibility is that eventually it starts a very overlapping pattern like this, goes to a Fibonacci retracement level, breaks structure to the upside, and then makes another wave to the upside. So we have two possibilities, and luckily both possibilities we're going to be looking for shorts. While we're looking for shorts, if it does this, then great news. While we're looking for shorts, if it starts turning into like an overlapping pattern like this, and then eventually breaks structure to the upside at a Fibonacci level, then we'll stop looking for shorts and start looking for longs again. Not really too big of a deal. So if we are now bearish on the dollar, that means that we basically need to be bullish the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the Aussie dollar, the Kiwi dollar. We also need to be bearish the US dollar CAD and the US dollar Swiss. Gold doesn't really follow the dollar index all that well. I mean, it definitely does follow it to a point, but definitely doesn't follow it, as closely as the other dollar pairs do. So yeah, hey Andrew, how's it going? If anybody has any requests, put them in the chats. I'll be more than happy to look at anything. Kind of the main purpose of these live streams is to take requests from people in the chats because I basically analyze the exact same pairs every single day. So if anybody does want me to look at anything, we'll definitely do so. Yeah, definitely. I actually took a trade on the Yo Cat today. Hasn't really done much yet, but this is potentially a swing trade. I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling this year for Christmas, so I'm definitely trying to get back into my swing trading where I'm holding on to my trades for, maybe 3 to 5 trading days instead of holding on for, maybe 8 hours like I've been trying to do for the most of the year now. I much prefer swing trading. I actually quite despise very short time frame trading. It's definitely not my thing. But let's start off on the pound dollar because that was first, and then we'll look at the Yo CAD. Yeah, we all kind of need to. My old mentor used to say that pretty much all indicators are useless compared to this one thing right here, which I am not an artist, so don't give me crap about my drawings. But this one thing right here, which is an eye, it's supposed to be an eyeball, is going to tell you more than any indicator could ever tell you. If you train to see those ABC pullbacks, you're potentially going to see things that nobody else are potentially going to see. So, anyways, yeah, let's start off on the pound dollar. The pound dollar was very strong today. I actually sorted the pound dollar this morning and then yesterday, and ended up taking a loss on it because the trend definitely was down on the pound dollar. And I always try to trade with the trend. Technically, the pound dollar hasn't reversed, hasn't made a break of structure yet. So there is definitely still a chance that it could be a pullback. So let's put our Fibonacci retracement back on here. It does look like a potential end of a pullback, doesn't it? If we go all the way up to the weekly time frame, actually, we got that already on there. So what time frame we got that on? The weekly. Sorry, I've been messing with my charts a lot today. So let me get rid of this for now. Let's put this on the weekly because I think we did have a pretty nice 38% Fibonacci bounce today. Yeah, so we had a 38% Fibonacci bounce, as you can see. I was thinking because it actually technically turned right in the middle that it was actually going to go down further because I was really liking this rally-based rally area right here. I was thinking that that potentially was going to be the area that we were going to turn, not this 38%. But that's why I always say, we got to be very careful with what we believe about the market because if I had a belief that this needs to go down to here or here, and then it turns up today, I'm going to do everything I possibly can um, to try to disprove this going up like this because I have a belief that it potentially could go down here. So when you stop, forcing your beliefs on the market, that's when you really start to ignore evidence that you're right or wrong about a potential pattern. Either way, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind this thing has made a pretty significant turn. It's just whether or not it's really a continuation of the uptrend, I think, is the question. We are definitely going to look for longs, but I personally think that we can't really say with confidence that this pattern is over until we get this break of structure. We are not even close to a Fibonacci level, so we definitely want to continue to look for longs. Hopefully tomorrow what will happen is we get some pullbacks. Maybe towards the end of the week we can get another entry to go long. And if eventually it goes up and breaks structure, then great. But there's a pretty good chance that this right here is the end of a correction. I'm wondering if this is actually like a truncated wave 5 right here. Like this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3. This was actually supposed to be the 4, and this was supposed to be the 5. And because the pound is a little bit on the strong side, and made a higher high for the wave 5, which in Elliott wave terms is like a truncated wave 5. Either way, we definitely want to continue to look for longs for sure. Definitely don't want to go long now. We definitely want to wait for a pullback, but we for sure want to go long when we get the opportunity to go long, at the end of these 1, 2, 3 way pullbacks. Like I said, technically I was looking for shorts until I ended up pushing back up again. So we got to be a little bit careful. The trend is definitely always your friend for sure. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna take requests. I'm gonna try to go in order. So we started off with the pound dollar. I think the euro CAD is next. Let me just see here. Pound dollar. Yeah, euro CAD. I actually spent most of the afternoon today working on my analyzing the pairs that I don't normally trade. Um, Normally, I have a fairly small list of pairs that I actually trade, which is basically these pairs right here. These are the pairs that I normally actually trade, but there's a lot of really good opportunities on some of these other things. So I spent pretty much the whole afternoon analyzing everything from here down because I think that there's some really good opportunities on some of these pairs sometimes. So the Euro CAD is actually very, very sideways right now. But on all the way up on the weekly time frame, it looks like it's trying to top out. It really looks like it's trying to top out right here. Whether or not it really is topped out is the question. We definitely do not have a break of structure down yet. It just looks like that pattern that you potentially would see at the end of a move, especially on the weekly time frame. So you go down to the daily time frame. Technically, we got a swing high, and then it did go down and break structure. So technically, on the daily time frame, we are in a move to the downside. And I was looking at this today, and I was thinking, okay, this looks like an A. This looks like an expanded wave B. This looks like a wave C. I was thinking that maybe this was a one right here. Maybe this was a two, and I was kind of hoping it was going to go down, make a wave three, make a wave four, and make a wave five over the next week, maybe 2 weeks, eventually, hopefully giving us a nice break of structure to the downside is what I'm hoping to see right here. So yeah, that's definitely what I'm looking for right there. So going down to the 4 hour time frame, this is where we want to throw off. If we bearish on this, which right now I am, then we want to throw our Fibonacci retracement in the last impulsive move down, and we want to look at this move up right here as hopefully a pullback. I'm hoping that this right here is a wave A. I'm hoping this right here is a wave B, and I'm hoping this right here is a wave C. I actually took the entry today to the short side already, but my stop loss is above these highs right here. I'm not a big fan of using super tight stop losses, and I never really was. And plus, I plan on holding on to this trade. If it does go down, I plan on holding this trade for at least a week or more. But it definitely does have that shape of an ABC. I mean, we got the first impulsive up, wave A. We got potentially 1, 2, 3 waves down, wave B. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, wave C. We are at the 61%. We definitely did make a nice little rejection candle, which is why I took the short today. We'll see if it actually plays out or not. But in order for this to really confirm that it is over, we need to see this break of structure right here. So in order for me to have confidence to hold on to this trade for a while, it needs to go down and it needs to break and hold below structure. If it doesn't break and hold below structure and starts making more higher highs, higher lows, then obviously the correction is not over. And obviously you might want to get out of your short if you really are short. But as of right now, it definitely does look like a pullback, and it definitely on the higher time frame looks like it could end up going down. So I'm going to give that one a try and see how it works out. Yeah, the indices. A lot of people in my group on Discord trade the indices. I personally don't, but almost every time I look at them, I say, "Man, I should trade these things," because they do make some beautiful moves, don't they? And they do something almost every single day, which is kind of nice. It's not like the euro dollar really has a tendency to not do something. Sometimes it'll spend a couple days in like a very, very, very tight range, not really doing a whole lot. So the indices do seem like they do at least something pretty much every day. So this is actually technically not even technically my analysis. This is more from Phil, and Phil is a member of my premium membership. If anybody is interested in that, definitely check out my website. It is fxtripcollector.com. I do share every single trade I take with the group at the time of entry. It is not a signal service, but I do share all my trades. And I do really what I would prefer is people to share their charts and analyze the charts so that way we can kind of all help each other. I spent about 10 years in my mentor's trading group, and we used to constantly bounce ideas off of each other. And when you're in a really good trading group, it makes a huge difference for everyone's success. So definitely check out the website if you're interested in that. But anyways, like I said, this is more on Philip's analysis than mine. We got a first impulsive down, potentially wave A. This looks like a 1, 2, 3 waves up, potentially a wave B. This looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down, wave C. Kind of looks like a little bit of an expanding ABC. It looks to me like it's going to go up and make another new high. I would definitely put my Fibonacci retracement from here to here, just in case we do get a break of structure to the downside at a Fibonacci level. I would definitely start sorting it at that point. Roughly the 4 hour time frame is roughly where I would watch this. You could trade below the 4 hour time frame, but the 4 hour time frame should tell you when this move right here is complete, because the 4 hour time frame is showing us high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Eventually, if it bounces from a fib level, goes down and breaks structure on this 4 hour time frame, then this move is over, and it's probably going to go all the way back down. Based on the daily, though, it kind of seems like there's a good chance that it might just go up, bounce, and just keep on making the series of higher highs, higher lows on roughly this 4 hour time frame. So hey Skywick, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you guys. So the Nasdaq, and then what's next? The DAX is next. The Aussie dollar, yeah. Aussie dollar, in my opinion, has been a little bit of a nightmare to tell you the truth, just because it's been ranging for so long. That has been one ranging pair on the higher time frames. To be honest, the DAX also looks like a pattern on the weekly time frame that looks like it's trying to top out, but I mean, it's still very, very bullish. It definitely hasn't been able to break structure yet. It is definitely an uptrend on the weekly still. And when the trend is up on the weekly, it can always just keep on going. So whatever I say on the sort of time phase, you have to realize that the trend is definitely, definitely up. And if the Nasdaq and S&P potentially are going to go up, then there's a good chance that this could also just keep on going up. So just keep that in mind. The really high time frames, like the weekly and the daily and the monthly, are usually the ones that tell you the correct story. Going down to such a weird pattern. It's so overlapping, huh? A, B, C, D, E. Could be the end of a pullback, honestly, like an A, B, C, D, E or something. A, yeah, B, C, D, E. It's like some sort of a triangle. It kind of looks like it could go down a little bit, but I think I would have to stay bullish unless it gives you some sort of a really big break of structure down, which it definitely hasn't. It does look like it could go down a little bit on this time frame. It looks like it actually no, maybe not, but kind of looks like it could pop down a little bit more. But it could end up making a higher low, and going up, or it could be like more of an expanding type thing, go down, make a lower low, and then continue up from there. So overall, I would definitely be very, very bullish on this pair. I would definitely be bullish, but it kind of looks like it could go down a little before it actually goes up. And at some point, I do think it is going to go down in a big way. At some point, it probably is going to make one of these much larger pig pullbacks like this, but it might go up and then down and then up. A lot of people are saying 2026, next year, 2026 is going to be a very bad year for the indices. There's going to be a lot of really big pullbacks on pretty much all of them. The US indices, the UK, all of them basically. So I don't know if they're right or not, but to me, we were talking about this in the Zoom call. To me, it definitely makes a lot of sense for them to be right. Definitely. Let's see. So let's move on to the euro again. All the yen pairs definitely to me look like they could be getting close to a really big turn for sure, but unfortunately the turn has not happened yet. Yeah, the euro yen did end up pushing down pretty good. I think that's going to keep going down though. I think this is an A. I think this is a B. I think it's going to go down like a C, and then I think it's going to go back up. So I think this is going down, but I think the move down is very likely going to be a pullback within an uptrend. I think very, very likely. I really don't think this daily time frame is finished yet, but I definitely do think we need to pay attention over the next month or so because on the really high time frames, if this really does make that big turn, which the euro is the euro again is very strong because of the euro, but if this really does make that big turn, it could go all the way back down to this area. It could go all the way down to like 154, 152 area. But, that's a pattern that potentially would take months to play out. I personally don't really think the big turn is in. I don't really think the top is in. I think this is an A. I think this is a B. I think it's going to go down, take out the lows, and then probably go back up again. So once it goes down and takes out the lows, I would throw my Fibonacci retracement from here to here, and then hopefully this will be a nice Fibonacci bounce. Hopefully it'll give us another nice little long opportunity right there. Uh, the land of rising suns. What's that? 2:30 in the morning. Wow, that's late. So yeah, anyways, let's do the euro dollar. That's the next one on the list. The euro dollar definitely and the pound dollar, like I said, they both could end up going down again, but the dollar index definitely looks like it made a pretty significant turn, doesn't it? So I would put my Fibonacci extension now from here to here to here, like this. Get rid of a few of these levels because I hate having stuff all over my chart. I don't know how people trade with like lines and indicators and all these stupid things all over their chart. I just cannot do it. So, anyways, yeah, this is obvious because this is a higher low, higher low. So this is definitely either a wave A or a wave one. This is definitely either a wave B or a wave two, and this is definitely either a wave three or a wave C. If it really is a wave C, then it could go to the 100, the 123, the 138, and then reverse back down and continue the higher time frame downtrend, like the daily. Technically, the daily is still down because it really hasn't broken above structure yet. So pay very close attention to this 100%. You're not going to be able to tell if this trend is over on the daily, though. You're going to need to go to a sort of time frame in order to see the structure of this trend. So what I would do is probably roughly the 4 hour time frame is where this is making nice higher highs, higher lows. So what I would want to see is I would want to see a double top at one of those key Fibonacci levels I just showed you on the daily, like the 100% would be awesome. Then it goes down, then it get breaks structure. If it does this picture right here, that is definitely a wave C, and it would almost definitely continue the downtrend. If it doesn't do that and it goes up, it bounces, comes down, and then goes up, and then bounces and just keeps on going up, as in it doesn't make a break and it makes a higher low, higher low, higher low, and just keeps on trending, then we would just keep on looking for longs in an uptrend, not a problem whatsoever. Definitely bullish. Definitely wouldn't want to really go long right now. I would definitely want to see some sort of significant pullback in order to go long, but I am definitely still very bullish. Definitely still looking for longs in an uptrend. Let's see. Like I said, if anybody has any requests, put them in the chats. I'll be more than happy to look. The US dollar again is next on the list. And then Skywick has the Aussie dollar. I like interacting with people in the chat. So if anybody, has any questions or anybody wants me to look at like a pair that I may not normally look at, some cryptocurrency or indices or an individual stock or anything like that, definitely let me know. I'm more than happy to look at anything. So the US dollar yen is next. Technic. So the thing with the dollar yen is, if this whole pattern right here is some sort of a flat, which it definitely could be, then the 90% is a really good area for this to start a brand new downtrend like this and go all the way down and take out all these lows. Potentially going all the way down to like 139, 138 on the higher time frames. The problem is that there's definitely no proof of that yet. Like I said, I like to use Elliott Wave because Elliott Wave, if you correctly label the past, you definitely can correctly predict the future. But the problem I see with Elliott Wave is when people learn Elliott Wave, they force their analysis on the market. And when the market starts proving you wrong, you subconsciously ignore evidence that you're wrong because you are so confident about your Elliott Wave analysis. So I personally think that this move down is still a pullback to this last move up. I'm definitely still watching these Fibonacci levels for a break to the upside on sort of time frames. But if we go to like the 4 hour time frame, we still do not have a break of structure up yet. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. If you're trading like anywheres around the 1 hour time frame and below, I would definitely still be recommending shorts until we get a break of structure to the upside at a Fibonacci level, which we obviously do not have yet. I have no idea whether this is going to make a higher low and go up, or whether it's going to go down, make a double bottom and then go up. All I know is that I would be looking for shorts on these points right here until I see a break of structure to the upside at a Fibonacci level on probably like the 2 to 4 hour time frame. So definitely still looking for shorts for sure. If it does, break structure to the upside on the 1 hour, then maybe this is going to be like an ABC and then go down, or maybe it'll break that 4 hour time frame structure and start a brand new uptrend because technically the daily is up and technically the weekly is definitely in an uptrend. But like I said, we really just need to do what the market tells us to do. Um, as Menu always says, we really just need to take it one wave at a time. Right now, we are in a wave to the downside, so we should be looking for shorts on like the 1 hour time frame. But on while we're looking for shorts, we should be trying to figure out whether this move down is a pullback to this move up or not. So we definitely want to keep an eye on this to see if it breaks structure to the upside at a fib level. Honestly, the most ideal thing I think that could happen, which I don't know if this is how it will go, but if it goes down to 78%, bounces, and then comes down and then bounces again and breaks structure, that would be the most ideal thing for me to see the end of a pullback. On the other hand, if it goes down and breaks this red line right here, then that means the daily is turned down, and that means we definitely want to get very, very bearish on the very high time phase for sure. So, anyways, yeah, put your request in the chats. I got the Aussie dollar from Skywick. But if anybody else has anything they want me to look at, definitely let me know. I haven't looked at gold yet, and gold is usually one of the first things that people request. Like I said, I personally do not trade gold because I am from the United States, and if you're from the United States, you cannot trade gold on a US broker. But I do trade basically every single pair on this list right here, or at least I try to, except for gold. I personally hate gold, and I really don't care that I don't trade gold, to be honest with you. I am a big, big hater of gold. I definitely don't like it. This is a tough one. Like I said, the Aussie dollar, in my opinion, is a little tough because my higher time frame analysis is still very, very bullish. I still think there's a good chance that in a year, because we're on the weekly time frame, maybe a year or so, there's a really good chance this thing could go all the way up to zero point 0.8, maybe even 0.86, because that's the 100% Fibonacci extension. So I'm very, very, very bullish on the weekly. The problem is when you start going down to like the 4 hour time frame and zooming out a little bit, this thing is a complete mess. Ever since this first impulsive move up, it's been just one overlapping, overlapping, overlapping. Look at how overlapping this damn pattern is. Unreal. I would like to say that this right here is the end of a pullback and it's going to start a brand new uptrend, but with how overlapping it is, until it actually goes up and takes out the high, we have no way of really knowing whether this is going to go up and take out the high or whether it's going to do like another ABC and then go down, do another ABC and just keep on overlapping. So in my opinion, the Aussie dollar is a little tough right now. But the whole thing is if we take it one wave at a time, when we had a break of structure back here and we had this higher low, we would have been looking for longs. So ever since last week, we would have been looking for longs, and we potentially would have taken it all the way up to this break of structure. Honestly, what I would like to see happen is I would like to see a decent pullback, and then I would like to go long on the pullback, and then try to learn whether this is next wave is a wave C or wave 3. The winter time is definitely more common, which we're coming into the winter now. Obviously, the week of Christmas is going to be a little slow normally, but the winter time is normally when the big trends happen. Normally a lot of people call it trend season. So normally you get the big trends, from like November to like maybe months. And then during the summer, when a lot of people are on holiday, that's normally when you get a more overlapping pattern. So hopefully this overlapping pattern is complete. And hopefully now we're going back into trend season and we're going to go just keep on trending on some of these pairs. I am a trend trader and I prefer to swing trade. So when the market is very, very rangy, it's a major headache in my opinion. Because I would much prefer to get in a trade and hold on to it for 2 weeks and then exit with a good profit rather than getting in a trade and getting out of a trade all within a few hours. Definitely not the way I like to do it. So anyways, yeah, let's see here. I try not to cover things more than once. We already looked at the dollar yen, but if we got time, we'll definitely circle back to it. I can definitely look at the pound yen though. With the fact that, oh, excuse me, the fact that we just broke structure, hopefully it makes a pullback at some point pretty soon. Oh, there's gold. I was gonna say somebody's gonna have to request gold. The Swiss yen. The Swiss yen is one of the strongest trends on every one of these pairs that I have here. The Swiss yen is in the strongest uptrend out of everything on this list. Look at this uptrend. This is the weekly time frame. Look at this uptrend. This is the yearly time frame back here. Look at this uptrend. The Swiss yen is literally one of the strongest trends out of all the forex pairs, in my opinion. So going down to the daily time frame, I mean, this thing would have to go way the hell down here and break this low right here with a lot of momentum for me to become bearish in a big way. I am definitely looking at this move down right here as a possible pullback within an uptrend. Definitely, definitely. So I got my Fibonacci retracement on this last impulsive move up. We definitely do have a break of structure on the 4 hour. So if you are trading like the 1 hour, You could try to do a couple sorts, but while you're looking for sorts, you better keep in mind that the weekly is in an uptrend, the daily is in an uptrend, the monthly is in one of the strongest uptrends out of all the forex pairs. So when you're in such a strong uptrend, and then you go down to the 4 hour, 1 hour time frame, and you're like, oh look, that's a sort right there. What happens a lot of the time? You'll go short, it'll go down a little, and then bam, it right back up it goes because the trend is so strong on the higher time frames. Now, looking at the other yen pairs, I would kind of expect this to go down if I was just analyzing the 4 hour to make like a wave C, maybe go down to like the 50%. Maybe this top right here will become a bottom and then it will push back up later on. So you could definitely justify a short pretty easily with the breaker structure we have on the 4 hour time frame. But like I said, when you're in such a strong trend on such high time frames, you really, really, really have to be careful with those counter trend moves. Definitely, definitely. So let's look at the pound yen next. And then we'll look at gold. I am from the United States, and in the United States, you cannot trade gold on a forex margin account. You can trade gold if you want to trade like a futures account, or you want to just trade physical gold, or whatever. But when you're from the United States, you cannot trade gold on a margin account. You cannot trade any commodities. You can't trade silver, any of those commodities on a forex broker. So I literally spent 10 to 12 years with no, I was not even allowed to trade gold. I wasn't even allowed to trade it. So I literally spent 10 or 12 years with gold as not even an option. So now I live in Europe now, right? So now I can trade gold now because I live in Europe and I have a European broker. But I literally spent 12 years not trading gold. So for me, it just doesn't make sense to actually be like, oh, gold is something I want to trade. I am not a big fan of gold whatsoever, not even remotely. Out of everything on this whole list, gold is the one pair that I like the least out of everything. Which is crazy because people absolutely love gold. I'm a gold hater, but most people are gold lovers. I was thinking that we were going to get another wave down, but gold is also a pair that is in an extremely, extremely, extremely strong uptrend. We still don't even know that this wave three is over. This is definitely a wave one. This is definitely a wave two, and this is definitely a wave three. That's 100% for sure. We do not have any evidence that this wave three is over. There's always a chance that this thing just keeps on going. A lot of forecasters are saying that gold's going to hit $5,000 an ounce, maybe next year. So be a little bit careful on the Bayless analysis because as I go down, it definitely starts to look like a one. It looks like a two. It looks like this could be a three. This could be a four. This could be a wave five. If it is a wave five, then it definitely is going to make a much bigger move to the downside. But the problem is there's no evidence whatsoever that this wave three is over. And when you're in a wave three, you really want to see some evidence that it's over before you start counter trend trading it. Definitely, definitely. So anyways, we had on the daily, we got one big impulsive move down. As you can see, we do have a breaker structure on the daily. So I do know 100% that this trend from here to here is complete. I definitely know that trend is over. Now, that doesn't mean that it needs to do a trend reversal. It potentially already made a pullback and it potentially could just keep on going up from here. But based on my LE wave analysis and what I think is going to happen, I still think this is a wave A. I still think this is a wave B, and I still think it's going to go down for a wave C before it goes up. The problem is that we're in a wave three, and when you're in a wave three, you have to be very, very, very careful with those counter trend analysis. So I would, like I was saying this morning, I would at least expect this to hit the 78% before it goes down. I think this is a one, two, three, four, five. I think we're in a wave four right now. I think there's a good chance that gold, which man, I analyze gold a lot because people love it so much. It's one of my most popular videos most of the time. So I analyze gold a lot, and I honestly probably should trade it because I analyze it so much. But it's doing pretty much exactly what I said it was going to do the last couple of days. I think this is a one, two, three. I think this is an A. I think it's going to probably do something like this. A, B, C. This is going to be a wave four, and then it's probably going to go back up to the 78% for a wave five. So I think potentially, maybe tomorrow and the rest of today we're going to be a little bit overlapping. It's probably eventually going to go down, grab some liquidity, finish off this wave four, then it's probably going to go up and make a wave five. Man, this morning when I made my video, I had my Fibonacci retracement from here to here, and I said if it goes down to a fib level, it makes an impulsive move up, it'd probably make for a nice long. So did anybody watch my morning video and catch that long right there? Because that was very nice. I'm only making one video in the morning now, and that one video covers all these pairs on my list right here, with including gold. And then I make my PM videos like normal. But after the holidays, after Christmas, the PM videos are going to be only for my paying members because I want to give them as much benefit as possible. So once the holidays are over, my 3 p.m. videos are going to be only for members. If anybody is ever interested in joining my website membership, it is only $30 a month, and I definitely offer a lot and lots and lots and lots of benefits, including a trading course, which is 34 videos. It covers a ton of material, you know, Elliott wave stuff, difference between a trend and correction, some market structure, Fibonacci analysis, Elliott wave analysis, tuning the frequency of your charts, which I think is one of the most important things. Obviously, risk management, trading psychology stuff, how to become a consistently profitable trader, and how much money can you potentially make with trading. And all this all comes free, and it also comes with access to my Discord channel. So definitely check out the website. It is a very cheap membership for sure. And it is definitely not a signal service, but I do share all the trades I take with my members at the time of entry. A lot of people do use it as a signal service, but it is definitely not a signal service. Nobody is ever going to be rich by following somebody else's trades. Oh yeah, definitely. I spent last year I made this trading course in the spring, and I spent a lot of time on that trading course. So definitely check it out. There's some really good videos in there. A lot of people like those videos, so definitely check it out. And like I said, once the Christmas holidays are over, the 3 p.m. videos are going to be for only members. So if you enjoy those PM videos, you're probably going to want to join the membership just so you can access those too. Let's see, what else is next? What do people want to see? I've already done gold. I really never go below the 1 hour time frame, and honestly, with my own personal trading, I kind of prefer the 2 hour time frame. I spent literally 10 years not trading anything below the 2 hour time frame. I would take all my entries on the 2 to 4 hour time frame. I would analyze the daily, the weekly, and the monthly, and I would take all my entries on the 2 to 4 hour time frame. I think that short time frame trading is very, very hard to be very, very consistent. Now, don't get me wrong, this year has been very, very overlapping. The markets have been very overlapping, which I think is very hard for a swing trader to trade a very overlapping market. But in my opinion, the very, very short time frames are very, very, very hard to be consistent at. And it's definitely not impossible. A lot of people do it, but I think there's way less consistently profitable traders trading below the 1 hour than there is trading above the 1 hour. I have not looked at silver in a very long time. Wow, silver is at all-time highs, big time. Wow, almost $60 an ounce, huh? Holy crap. That thing is rallying like no tomorrow. Very similar to gold in the way that it's definitely a wave three. I mean, this is 100% a wave three right here. And there is no reason to say this wave three is over yet either, so at least on this time frame. Wow, that's a crazy trend, huh? I mean, what are you supposed to do? I would do nothing but be looking for longs. I mean, if, so many people would probably look at this chart right here and say, "Oh, it's time to go short." I would look at this chart right here and I would say, "Oh, it's time to wait patiently for a pullback in order to go long again." I would be looking to go long here, 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 here. I'd go long here, here, here. I definitely wouldn't go short anywhere on this chart. For me personally, I am a trend trader. I love trading with the trend. The trend is definitely always your friend, especially in those daily, weekly, monthly time frame trends. Obviously, like the full hour, 1 hour time frame trends, maybe not. So if it now this is if I have no idea if it's gonna even do this. It could just keep on going up. But if it goes down and breaks this structure on the 4 hour time frame, the first thing I would do is tell my Fibonacci retracement from here to here, and then I would look for something like this over here. I would look for one down, one up, one down, and then I would try to go long again right there. So if it goes down and breaks structure, it will probably make a pullback, and then it will probably do this, and then it will probably do that. Which you're talking about the 4 hour time frame, so something like this potentially takes a week or more to play out. The whole thing is it doesn't have to do any of that, does it? It could go up and go up and go up. The trend is your friend. You are definitely looking for longs when you're in such a strong trend. Even on the shorter time frames, I would be doing nothing but looking for longs. There's no reason at all. That could be a little running ABC right there. I might just keep on going. Da, 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 da. So, does anybody have any more requests? Definitely put them in the chats. I don't really mind staying on for an hour or more as long as I keep on getting some requests. So, if anybody has something they want me to look at, definitely throw it in the chats. I'll be more than happy to take a look. Is natural gas going up too? Oh, it is too. I don't trade natural gas, but there's a person in my group that does, and they constantly want me to look at it. Wow, what a nice. I do kind of like this pair, but I don't trade any commodities. When gold down move, I get frustrated how to overcome that feeling. Yeah, trading is so much reliant on trading psychology. Trading psychology is such a big part of trading. The markets just love to mess with our psychology. It's unfortunately that's the major part of trading these markets. The best way to overcome that is to have a mechanical system. If you can make your trading a little bit more mechanical, then you really shouldn't experience that many psychological issues. So what I mean by that is you literally should know what to do with every single circumstance. You should have written rules for everything. If this thing spikes up 100 pips, you should have a rule for that. You should know what to do. If anything you can think of, you should know exactly what to do for an exact any circumstance, any given circumstance. And if you have all your rules written down and you know exactly what to do in every circumstance, what an entry looks like, what an exit looks like, what the criteria for an entry is, what the criteria for an exit is, then you should just be following your system. And if your system is profitable, if your system has an edge, then then you just should continue to repeat your system. No matter what kind of system you have, you're going to experience losing trades. That doesn't mean that your system is bad. It just means that you might have had a couple losing trades in a row. So anyways, yeah, put some stuff in the chats if anybody wants any more stuff looked at. I'm more than happy to check anything out. Let's go back to the dollar for a minute here. Boy, the dollar is strong today, especially the pound. Well, the dollar's weak, but yo, very strong. Pound very strong. Aussie very, very strong. That's some major nice moves today, wasn't there? Oh, look at that. We made a double bottom on this, so now we can move our structure down to here, which means we'll have confirmation of a turn up sooner, which is good. That still looks like an ABC to me on the 4 hour to daily time frame, definitely. But it would make more sense for this to be a way B, which means they would take out the low. So probably gonna keep going down. I think the dollar's gonna keep going down for now. I still gotta finish my charts. I spent pretty much all day working on my charts, getting ready. Because I'm going to be traveling back to the United States in about a week and a half, which I will definitely still be trading while I'm in the United States, but I'm definitely not going to be trading the 1 hour time frame. I'm definitely going to be trading like the 2 hour time frame and up. I will when I if it wasn't for my videos, this is literally what my time frames would look like. The 1 hour time frame and below wouldn't even exist to me. I would never ever ever even look at it ever. When I used to work a full-time job, I used to trade and work a full-time job for years. The anything below the 2 hour time frame didn't even exist to me. I never ever looked at anything below the 2 hour time frame ever. And I was way more consistently profitable not looking at things below the 2 hour time frame than I ever was looking at stuff below the 2 hour time frame. Short time frame trading is hard, and I think it's going to get even worse with the rise of AI because the shorter time frames there's going to be a lot of volatility over AI. A lot of the big hedge funds and stuff are going to be using AI to trade, and it's going to make short time frame trading even more difficult, in my opinion. Yeah, the catch first really doesn't look that great, does it? I'll give it a little while. If it takes out the low, I'm definitely getting the heck out. Put an alert right there so I can. Yeah, put an alert right there. So if it takes out that low, I'll just get out. Same thing on this one. I love alerts. I have so many alerts. Look at all the alerts I have on this chart. These are all my alerts. I got a ton of them. Yeah, Bitcoin. We actually, in my Zoom meeting yesterday, we spent a little bit of time on Bitcoin. And I actually have a pretty good target for Bitcoin now that I like. I own a tiny bit of Bitcoin, but I've never traded crypto in my life besides the tiny little bit of Bitcoin that I own, which I've owned for like 3 years, and which started off with like $150, and now it's like I don't know, maybe $400 or whatever it is. But I think that Bitcoin is in a wave four. I think it's actually very, very clear. Nah, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I think it is going to go up. Actually, where's 100? 100's right there. So yeah, you might be right. Let me put a fib on there. I think we're in a wave four right now. It could go up a little bit more, but I think it's going to go down. I personally think I have an alert right here. I think it's going to go down to the 178% Fibonacci retracement. And that makes a lot of sense because look at how much support and resistance is right here. This thing has just been support resistance over there. And if this really is a wave A, which it looks like it is because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and this is really a wave B because it's 1, 2, 3 waves up, then this is probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, probably to the 161 and 178% for a C. I personally think that Bitcoin's going down to 64,000 to maybe 70,000, and then it's probably going to go all the way back up to like 130, 140, and maybe even higher. Um, Depends on how long it takes to get there, but it's probably eventually going to end up doing something like this. It's probably eventually going to make its way all the way up to like 150, but that's probably like next year sometime. Maybe this time next year we'll be looking at $150,000 a Bitcoin, which would be pretty sweet, huh? May, a lot of people are going to get pretty wealthy off of that if that's the case. I'm really curious to see what happens to cryptocurrency next year, though, because President Lagarde, which is the central bank, the European Central Bank president, said that the European digital currency is going to be released some point next year, and the U.S. is releasing a U.S. digital currency, and the U.K. is going to be releasing their digital currency. So once all these governments start releasing these digital currencies, what's going to happen to stuff like Bitcoin and stuff? It's going to be interesting. Honestly, and that's probably when Bitcoin is going to rally like crazy is when these digital currencies start coming out. So 100K, yeah, you might be right. My next real big area of resistance is right here, right around 94,300. And if it goes beyond that, then I'm looking at probably 98,500. I don't really think it's going to go any higher than that, though. It's either going to do this or it's potentially going to do this, I think. It might spike up, it could spike to 100. You definitely could be right. This bottom right here could become a top, it definitely could hit that zone pretty easily, for sure. So anyways, yeah, I would be looking at, like I said, 94,000 area or 98.5 area for a potential turn on that. Definitely looks like it needs one more turn down, in my opinion. Hmm. There's a lot of things that look like they're potentially really close to big turns. The Aussie Kiwi is a pair that I think could produce a lot of pips in the next year to the downside. And this is the weekly time frame too. And then all the yen pairs too, like I was saying earlier. I mean, this euro yen, I don't think it's ready yet, but I think next year this euro yen could do this. 2026. The pound yen, same thing. Pound yen, I think, is even more clear. I don't think it's going down yet. I think it's probably going to go down next year, but I think this is going to do this next year. A lot of people are saying for a lot of different reasons that 2026 is going to be a horrible, horrible year for the economies all over the world. So we could get some big, big trends. I never made more money in my life than I did as right after the 2009 housing crash. When we had that big crash in 2009 because of the housing market in the US, it was just so easy. And I was trading the yen pairs, and just every single day I would just get on and short the yen pairs, and pretty much every single day I made money. It was just so easy and so nice and so great. Why? Because it was just a big old giant trend. Look at this right here is what happened. This is when I started trading, was right here. Every single day I would go on like the 1 hour time frame and I would go short, make money, go short, make money, go short, make money, short, 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 and just make money pretty much every single day. I just loved it. And then eventually the markets kind of went back to normal and I was like, oh man, now I guess I need a little bit of a better strategy. But yeah, hopefully we see something like this next year. I'm hoping that next year is gonna be like something like that where it's just like bam, down it goes like a madman on some of these pairs. A lot of stuff look like a lot of different pairs look like they are very, very close to a very, very big turn. Another pair that I think is potentially going to make a big turn is this Euro CAD. This thing could literally turn into a downtrend that goes all the way down, takes out these lows. And if that happens, then the pound CAD will probably do the same type of thing. I don't think any of these pairs are ready yet, but this thing could do something like this next year. So overall, the trend is hopefully going to be our Fed next year if these big turns actually play out like we are hoping they are. Does anybody else have any requests? We've been on for almost an hour now. If anybody else has any requests, put them in the chats. I'd be more than happy to take a look. Let's see. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening my time. Let's check the news calendar real quick. What do we got tomorrow? Tomorrow we have unemployment claims for the dollar. Definitely something to keep an eye on because obviously these type of news events are what the Fed look at. You know, news events like this for the interest rate news. But the rest of the week, there's really not a whole lot of dollar news. But next week is a big week for the dollar. Next week we got FOMC, which I will be live streaming for the FOMC next week on Wednesday. So next Wednesday I'll be live streaming on YouTube for this FOMC event, which is on December 10th. Maybe we could get some big turns. Hopefully they're going to lower rates again from at least down to 3.75 or maybe even 3.5. But we also have the Aussie interest rate next week. We have U.S. interest rate next week. We got Switzerland interest rate next week. There's a lot of really big news events next week. On Sunday, the December 14th, I'm going to be flying back to the United States from Europe. I live in Europe, but I am from the United States. So after the 14th, I'm taking roughly 3 weeks off, but I am definitely going to continue to trade. And I probably will do one Zoom meeting a week for my paying members. But there's going to be no YouTube videos the whole time I'm in the US because I'm going to be traveling and visiting family and friends. But I'm definitely going to be trading. 100% definitely trading. Definitely not short time frame trading, but I definitely will be trading for sure. Wow, that Kiwi again. Phew, look at that damn thing go, huh? They're really not slowing down much, are they? I gotta probably go eat dinner and then get on my laptop and update my Fibonacci levels and structure levels on some of these. Like this Aussie yen just made a break of structure. This is now a break of structure. The daily is definitely not down anymore. The daily is definitely up now. It's had pretty big turns today, even though there was really no news today. I don't know what caused the dollar to get so wild today, but there were some big turns today. Real good moves in the market today. It's nice. because man, this year has been so slow on some of these pairs. It's kind of outrageous. But like I said, every single day, one of the first things I do every single day before I even make videos or anything, as soon as I wake up in the morning, is I tell everybody what direction I'm trading on all these pairs right here, what direction to trade, what direction to look for trades. I also have an alert, so that way, if there is a potential setup, the market will alert you. Um, so if anybody is interested in signing up for any of this stuff, it's on my website. It's fxbetcollector.com. It's only $30 a month. So if you're paying in euros, that's probably what, like 27 euros. If you're paying in pounds, that's like probably like 24 pounds a month. So very, very cheap. I'm definitely not looking to get rich from my memberships. I am definitely looking to get rich from my trading and my rental properties, which I already own 2 rental properties, and I'm building a third rental property this coming summer in the United States. I really highly suggest any money you make from trading, buy some real estate. Real estate pretty much never goes down. That's what I always do with my money that I make. Real estate. Become a landlord. Landlord is the way to go, especially if you get property managers. Pay your property manager 9-10% of your rent, and you literally can live anywhere in the world and not even worry about your rental properties at all. Pretty easy. Pretty easy going. Anyways, I will be on next Wednesday for the FOMC. We got interest rate news next Wednesday, so next Wednesday I'll be on YouTube for that. If anybody is interested in joining my website, definitely check that out. It's fxpetcollector.com. I'll put the link in the chats one more time, and it's in the description. As always, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, thank you and happy trading to everyone.